They say knowledge is power, but what happens when that power burns? In the heart of ancient Egypt once stood a place unlike any other, a temple of learning that held the wisdom of the known world. And one night, it vanished in flame. This is the story of the Library of Alexandria, the night when the world forgot how much it once knew. Long ago, when Egypt was ruled by the descendants of Alexander the Great, there arose a dream to gather all knowledge under one roof. Ptolemy I, one of Alexander's generals, imagined a city that would not only rule by power, but by wisdom. And so, under his reign and that of his son, Ptolemy II, the Library of Alexandria was born. It stood within the grand temple of the Muses, the Mouseion, a place dedicated to the goddesses of art, science, and inspiration. There, scholars from Greece, Babylon, India, Africa, and Persia came to study. Within its halls were thousands upon thousands of scrolls, each containing fragments of human thought, discovery, and dream. Some say the library held over 700,000 scrolls, texts on astronomy, medicine, philosophy, mathematics, and poetry. It was said that if all the knowledge of the world were a single flame, then the Library of Alexandria was its brightest fire. Ships that arrived at the city's port were searched by royal decree. Any scrolls found on board were copied by the scribes of the library, and the originals were kept within its walls. To possess knowledge was to possess the world itself, and Alexandria became a beacon, a city where scientists debated the movements of the stars, where physicians studied the human body, and where philosophers asked questions that would echo through time. It was here that Eratosthenes measured the circumference of the Earth with astonishing accuracy, over 2,000 years before satellites. It was here that Archimedes' ideas spread, that early astronomers proposed the Earth revolved around the sun. It was, in many ways, humanity's first internet, a network of minds connected through shared discovery. But power, even the power of knowledge, is fragile, and every empire, no matter how enlightened, has its night of fire. No one truly knows how the library met its end. Some say it was in 48 BCE, when Julius Caesar's ships burned in the harbor during his war in Egypt. The flames spread from the docks into the city, and the fire reached the library. Thousands of scrolls, perhaps hundreds of thousands, were consumed in a single night. But others believe the library survived that first fire, only to fall victim again and again, each time more of its soul lost to war, neglect, and fear. Centuries later, when Alexandria came under Roman rule, its scholars fled, its doors closed, and the scrolls that once held the mind of the world crumbled into dust. Still, some stories claim the library's true destruction came even later. When religious conflicts swept through the empire, temples were burned, knowledge declared heresy, and wisdom itself became dangerous. To some, the library was a symbol of pagan thought, and so it was erased, deliberately, completely. What exactly was lost that night? We may never know. Perhaps texts that could have cured diseases centuries earlier, mathematical theories that would have changed the course of science, or philosophies that could have reshaped how we see the world. The loss of the Library of Alexandria was not just the loss of scrolls, it was the loss of memory. Imagine for a moment, 1,000 minds, across continents and generations, pouring their discoveries into one place, all of it gone, not because of time, but because of humanity's own ignorance. And yet, whispers of its knowledge did survive. Fragments of its scrolls were copied and smuggled away, hidden in monasteries and foreign lands. Centuries later, those fragments would resurface in the works of Arab scholars, Greek philosophers, and Renaissance thinkers. The light of Alexandria had dimmed, but it had not gone out. The story of the Library of Alexandria is not only a tragedy, it is also a warning. Knowledge is never guaranteed to survive. It lives only if we choose to protect it. For every generation, there are flames, wars, ignorance, fear, that threaten to consume the things we have learned. And each time we forget, we burn another library, unseen but real. The fall of Alexandria reminds us that knowledge is fragile, but also eternal. Ideas may burn, but curiosity cannot be destroyed. From the ashes of that ancient library rose universities, archives, and libraries around the world, built by those who refuse to let the flame die. Perhaps that is Alexandria's final legacy, that even in destruction, it taught us to rebuild, that even when wisdom is lost, the hunger to seek it returns. The night the Library of Alexandria burned, the world lost a part of itself. But every time a new idea is written, every time a mind dares to question or to learn, a spark of that same ancient flame lives on. Because in the shadows of history, every fire leaves a trace of light behind.